Hey, 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 what is up, everybody? Welcome to a special edition of Sup Homeslice, where we're talking fantasy and betting over here. Evan and I usually. How you doing today, man, before we bring our other people up today?
I'm doing well, man. I'm excited. Thursdays are always fun to hop on Sup Homeslice, man, and do what we do. But bringing the game show back for its 2024 appearance. So if you've ever watched the game show before, man, we have a good time. A little similar to kind of Around the Horn, if anybody's seen that. And it's fun, man. We get some guests on the show. We get to kind of go at each other a little bit, see some different viewpoints, make some arguments for, whatever we may have to as well. So it's going to be fun, man. I'm excited, Iggy. No triple A today.
Evan's coming back. He is a two-time winner. We do have to break that down. But before we do that, let's welcome the other guests here for the game show, making its 37th appearance. We got Greg, Hall of Famer of FSWA, as well as host of Thursday Night Checkdown. And then we have Mase Riney. I'll put the R for the in there for a second. Sorry, Mase Riney, RPO Fantasy. Where else are you at, man? I know there's somewhere else, but also in the Kings Classic.
Yeah. I'm in a few places, Fantasy Pros as well. And then I do a 49ers podcast on 49ers Uncovered for the Andropolis.
Yeah. Just kidding.
He's also former Thursday Checkdown host.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The original, if you will. What's up, Pete? Thanks for joining us. What's up by you? All right, if you're unfamiliar with this is how this happens. I have a mystery question for somebody. The theme today is NFC. Okay, so we're going to be looking at everything NFC, looking at a fantasy perspective, looking at a betting perspective, but we'll phrase it in a fantasy way. First things up, 40 seconds. This NFC legend has won the most NFC Super Bowls as an NFC player. Goes now.
Tom Brady.
No, he won only one NFC Super Bowl as an NFC player.
Oh, that's right. New England isn't in the NFC?
They're in the NFC. They're in the AFC East Conference. All right, one clue. He played in 2 decades. And he won Super Bowls in 2 decades.
Joe Montana?
That's a good guess.
Steve Young.
Incorrect answer. Steve Young, incorrect as well. He is a 49er.
Jerry
Rice.
Not Jerry Rice.
Roger Craig.
Come on, guys. Charles.
You're a defensive guy. Charles Haley?
Charles Haley, yeah.
Haley. I was going to say Cowboys, too. Yeah, man.
How did you not get that? 2 decades,
Defensive
49ers.
guy. That gave it away, yeah.
Yeah, Pete came out here with Joe Montana, Steve Young as well. Popular answers. You knew that kind of had to be a 49er. Charles Haley, winner of 5 Super Bowls, 2 with the 49ers, 3 with the Dallas Cowboys. An all-time NFC legend. Iggy still going down 36-1 in the mystery bonus question. How do you guys like that?
I got the answer. I got the answer, but you should deduct the fact that I took a non-NFC player as my first pick.
He did play in the NFC. I was thinking Cowboy and Niner, but I couldn't get there.
Yeah. He did win 1 Super Bowl as the NFC representative. So Tom Brady, always a heartbreaker. Try to sneak Michigan in on me already, Greg. We just started the show. Let's go ahead and break it down, everybody. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what you're looking forward to tonight, where to find your work. We'll go Mase, Greg, then we'll come back up to Evan. Then we'll get right started with the questions. Remember, if you want to answer, go to the YouTube. You can put the answers in. We'll pop them up. We'll give you points. We got points for Mase, Greg, Evan, and the audience. So, Mase, go ahead and start us off, man.
Yeah, I'm a writer and a ranker over at RPO Football. I do offensive rankings as well on Fantasy Pros. And like I said earlier, I have the 49ers Uncovered podcast with my buddy Chris, and we kind of just talk all things Niners. Not so much fantasy, but I kind of sneak in stuff now and again just because Niners are so fantasy relevant. And honestly, when it comes to tonight's game, man, I'm just looking forward to hearing that cracked pads on that first snap. I'm really unfortunate that the rookie's not getting rolled out, even just to give handoffs and to give looks. He had said in a press conference recently that one of his biggest things was trying to pick up blitzes and identify defensive people. You have an extra game, you have a rookie out there. You don't have to wear him out or nothing, but at least throw him out there for a drive.
Yeah, let's see. Go ahead.
Mase is also a excellent introductory type person. He introduced me to Joe Bond of Fantasy Six Pack because he used to write for Joe. So if you get to the expo and Mase is there, be sure to walk up to Mase and have him introduce you to the people he knows.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah, man, absolutely. Mase gave you 3 points. Appreciate it. Greg, go ahead and keep going. Yeah, we gave you some.
I'm with Mase. I would have loved to have seen Caleb play. I want to see how he fits in because my hopes for Caleb are much lower, as Bear fan Pete knows, than most people's, because rookie quarterback on a team that really doesn't develop quarterbacks. It hasn't for years. So since I can't see that, I'm going to look at the Bears' offensive scheme. I want to see what they're showing scheme-wise. And I know it's going to be somewhat vanilla, but you get some ideas because they got new coaches, and I think that's important. And if they play, I really want to see how DeAndre Swift and Joe Mixon are used on their new teams, because I've got high hopes for Mixon. Swift, I just don't know. There's 3 good running backs. Swift has amazing talent, but he's just never lived up to his ability. Will he do it in Chicago on grass? Maybe. We'll see.
Soldier Field always needs a good running back. Evan, a little bit about yourself, what you're looking forward to tonight. If you go over 40 seconds, I'm penalizing you.
Hey.
Yeah, he tells me that after I went over 40.
That's all right. See, I got a tough grading scale here, man. Stacked against me, but the sports affiliation all the time, man. Co-host with IDP Iggy of Sub Homeslice that we rolled out about 6 weeks ago. Be rolling all through the season, Thursdays at 4:00 Eastern. Catch me on X, catch me on TikTok, just posting betting, fantasy content pretty much whenever something pops in my head or I'm not working and I feel like throwing some content out there. So tonight, man, like you guys said, these guys really aren't playing. I don't expect to see much from any of the players that matter. I don't think Mixon and Swift are going to be out there. So I would say, other than getting to see some football, I guess the kickoff rules would be the cool thing to see tonight, right? Yeah. It'll be the first time we see the new kickoff. We know Scott Fishbowl. We know even FF7s, like special teams, play a role in fantasy. So we get to see, at least tonight, who's back there for these guys. Is Velus Jones back there? Is Pierce back there at all? And how it plays out, right? Does somebody run one back? So I'm excited to at least see the new kickoff rules. Other than that, happy to have football, man.
You know what? I love seeing this time of the year people talk down about the preseason. I'm so happy to have football back. And Mel, I got to give you a couple thumbs up right there for the Bears still stuck. That's a good comment. I'd like to see that in the audience for sure. No offense, Pete. But we got it going on over there. Mason, what's your ad on Twitter? Callie, go ahead and tell them, Mason.
Callie King 49er17.
There we go. We'll get that again at the end of the show if y'all didn't get that. But I'm just happy because, you know, I was fortunate enough to go to college with players that were invited to the NFL, played in the Canadian Football League. And I just remember seeing my one friend in the preseason game dressed out. We got to go on one kickoff. And I was just stoked to see that because I was like, hey, I know that guy. He was chilling on my couch like 4 months ago, you know. And these guys get this once-in-a-life opportunity to have their name on an NFL jersey. And I think that's pretty cool to see at the end. And you never know. You can find that I'm going to be looking at Dameon Pierce. I'm kind of interested to see how he's going to be doing if there is a blitz pickup or just an edge rusher coming off the edge to see. So, but, you know, a lot of things to talk about. We'll break into that. Once again, if you want to get the comments in, go to the YouTube, get the comments in. We got already 40 listeners. Popular show, and it's coming back. 40 seconds on the clock. You guys all have three points. The audience has 4 for Pete and Mel holding it down over there. And the first question, pretty open. You know, NFL's back. You know, I asked, what are you most looking forward to tonight? Let's break it down and let's just go ahead and say, what are you looking for most in the preseason as a whole? Is there a specific matchup? Is there something you're really stoked to be watching? It can be tonight or it can be later on in the month. All right. So what we'll do, we'll go that same order. We'll go Mase, Greg, Evan to start it. And Mase, the time is on you and it starts right now.
Yeah, I want to see what this new wave of like coaches that come in. I want to see how they approach veterans in their camp or how they approach playing them. So I interviewed with Aaron Rodgers recently talking about the old NFL, and by that he's talking about when him and Alex Smith came in and how different it is from then. And I remember back then hearing the old heads talk about how different it was from their time. So just to see the evolution of these players, we see the rookie, he's sitting today, Caleb Williams. But there are other guys tonight that I want to see, like Roshan Johnson. I want to see if he can handle, some carries. Xavier, what's his name? Hutchinson, and then Mechie as well. I want to see if those guys can step up, catch some balls, and just kind of get football flowing.
Right at the bell. Love it. Just like a professional boxer, and the pull the jab backs. Got you a couple points there, Mase. I really do appreciate it. Greg, what are you looking forward to this preseason and why, my friend? And it starts right now.
I thought our first question was the first question. But basically, I'm with Evan. I want to see the new kickoff rules. And more importantly, I want to see what players are put back there as kickoff returners. Are they going to go with like RB2s, RB3s on the team? Are they going to go with wide receivers? Deebo Samuel says he wants to return kicks this year with the new rule. I want to see if he does, because that increases his value greatly. So the kickoff rules, the rule changes, that's what I want to see.
I love it. I got to give Evan a little point right there since he piggybacked off your comment, Evan. And Evan, we'll go ahead and get to you after this, Dean. I want to say Pete says, what needs to be watched led for the Bears is who's the best backup running back, Johnson or Herbert. So right there, agreeing with you, Mase. Love to see it from a Bears fan, Pete. Let me know what you think about it. Are you going to go do Thursday night parlays? Yeah, we'll still be doing parlays. Maybe not this episode, but you can believe it's going to be coming. Evan, what do you got, my friend? What are you looking for in all this preseason or tonight?
I love betting. I don't know if I can get a parlay on the first Hall of Fame game going on. Tyson Badgett would probably be the DFS play. But, man, I'm looking forward to these quarterback battles, right? These rookie QBs, right? Does Drake May find a way to take over for Brissett, right? We know the veterans got the job. Bo Nix probably going to be the guy in Denver, but we'll see how he looks. Is McCarthy going to get a chance to overtake Darnold, or is O'Connell going to stick to that and say we're rolling Darnold out in the beginning of the year? And even a non-rookie, let's look at Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. I mean, Fields is on the last year of his deal. You got to think Pittsburgh wants to see what he has at some point. So do they give him a chance to earn the job right out the gate, man?
He went over, baby. He went over.
And no penalties till we get to the second round of questions. I do, Greg. You can
finish my sentence, Greg. You can finish the sentence you're on.
Yeah, you can be a little long-winded in these first ones. Do appreciate it. Big draft energy. Our GMFB star over here at TSA was out there. Kyle Brandt giving him the love in the morning. So make sure you go give him a follow. Mel says, yeah, the new kickoff rule is going to be interesting. I agree. We all kind of are interested to see that. Mason and I in the Fantasy Football Sevens League, which we're about to get to talking about, I took Nixon about a round before Mason's probably looking at him. And I do think that there's potential for more yards right there. I think that they should be able to I think that because there was a record low, it went down quite a bit. So I'm looking to see who's going to be able to take advantage of it. But we could just see kickers kick it out the back. That's why I want to see what's going on, okay? Let's get to question 2, okay? Another near and dear question to my heart. You all three drafted in Fantasy Football Sevens, all three at different positions, as well as I did. So what do you consider your strongest position in Fantasy Football Sevens? And just so people know, you can have all your standard positions, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, flex, super flex, but then you have defense, special teams, kicker, and then defensive lineman, linebacker, defensive back. So, Greg, we'll start with you. We'll go to Evan, and then Evan will go to Mase after that. All right, Greg, it starts right now.
Well, it's a short roster, and I have 5 linebackers, 3 who have dual designations, which is good. But quarterback is arguably my best position because I drafted 16, 17. So I had the 16 turn, and I ended up with Herbert and Purdy, and those are both viable starters. So I have to say quarterback is my best position.
All right. And do you feel confident with just those 2 for the rest of the season? Like you're not worried? Like on their bye week, that's okay. You'll just roll with 1 QB that week, and you feel good that you'll be healthy all season, right? Because Herbert,
you're not going to get 3 quarterbacks with 16 teams. There are teams that didn't get 2 quarterbacks.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. I'll give you another thumbs up there, Greg. Keep the comments rolling in. We got Greg out there. He said, my favorite bet tonight is a kick return to be taken for a touchdown. Hey, gotta love that. Herbert does have a foot injury. I just wanted to remind you of that. Evan, you know about that probably a little bit. But you're on the clock, sir. What is your best position in Fantasy Football Sevens? And then we'll see if you know anything about this Herbert news.
So I had the 7th pick as well. Shout out Max Crosby, Aiden Hutchinson to anchor the defense. Loving those two guys right there. Got to give an IDP shout out. But I'm going running back. It was Bijan first and then getting Gibbs in the 3rd round. Just two guys that have the potential to be 2 top 12 scorers at the flex position with running back, wide receiver, tight end. I just think those two guys can dominate the team. And I did wait on quarterback, getting Derek Carr in like the 8th round, Greg. So it's definitely not QB for me. Give me Bijan and Gibbs as a duo week in and week out, man.
That's almost like an auction setup right there. You get the Gibbs, you get the Bijan. You can't get that in too many leagues out there, that especially leagues that aren't super flex, right? That's not going to happen too often. And kudos to that. You got great defensive linemen, too, coming off the edge there. Very, very fun setup. I do love it. Got you in the lead right now, Evan. You got 9. Greg, you got 8. Mase, you're sitting at 5. Tell me, my friend, what is your best position? We're in the same league, so I know your roster better than theirs.
Yeah, I think my best position is linebacker. I got CMC at the 106. I didn't want to chase the quarterback. And then on the way back around, there wasn't guys like Purdy or Goff around, so I kind of had to scrape what I could there. Not too bad. But my linebackers were Fred Warner, Bobby Okereke, Devin White, and then I got Trenton Simpson on the bench. I kind of faded the kick return stuff, but I did get the Niners rookie Pearsall just in case. If he does, I think he's winning the battle right now between him, Ronnie Bell, and Trent Taylor. So was happy about CMC, but kind of faded running back after that.
Faded running back after that, but you're maybe looking at the kick return. You do get 1 point for every 15 yards and fantasy football 7. So there is a lot of potential there to make up in the defensive back area, or like in the Scott Fish Bowl, you can get a wide receiver like Mase talked about. Maybe look and see what they're going to do. So another thumbs up there with Greg. Let's take a look in the audience. We got Herbert, talking about plantar fasciitis. You say 4 weeks, Greg? That's a 4-week injury is what they're saying, or what?
No, that's what I think. I think he's got 4 weeks to heal. And
okay.
he's got the experience, so he doesn't need a lot of practice time. He does need a little time with his new receiver, Ladd McConkey, though.
All right. Ladd McConkey. I can't believe Quentin Johnson, they say, is coming from the 2nd unit. I'm not buying that baloney. I think he's going to step it up as a second-year guy. He's 6'4". Just throw it to him when you're in the red zone, for goodness sake.
Yeah, but he's already dropping passes. It
was one pass that they keep showing over and over, man. It's training
Did
camp.
you see McConkey reach back to get that grab?
I did, but they highlight, come on, it's training camp videos, Greg. We know how it is every year. I'm not saying
it was the same thing last year with Quentin Johnson, though. So when you start believing the guy can't catch.
After the first 4 weeks, if it looks like it did the last 17. But I'm going to give him a few weeks and hope that year 2 breakout for a first-round pick, although he showed nothing over the history. If you look at the data, first-round receivers who don't finish in the top 24 even one time, the list is awful, and hopefully QJ can be the outlier.
I'm going to give a shout out to Bob Long. He mentioned something last night on Game Changers. 11% of rookies reach 60% consistency. So what does that mean? If you're over 60% as a rookie wide receiver, chances are you're a great wide receiver the rest of your career. That's not Quentin Johnson.
He didn't have Justin Herbert either, and he didn't have a good coach. We'll see, but we're moving along to the NFC. Can't be talking about Justin Herbert too much on the NFC day. We got our teams over here. Come on. All right, so no NFC team is predicted to have over 11.5 wins this year, yet there were 3 teams that did it last year, okay? Which team do you think has the best chance to win 12 or more games this year, and why? All right, Evan, we'll start with you, then we'll go to Mase, and then we'll go to Greg. On you, starting right now, sir.
Man, I could rob one of these guys with their 2 teams, but I won't do it. They can have their teams, man. I think it's going to be tough for any team, really, when you look at the schedule. But I'm going to go with the Eagles, man. I think they have an easier schedule than both the Lions and the 49ers. I think, you beat the Commanders once, you beat the Cowboys once, you get the Giants twice. They have an easier road schedule, probably about the 10th hardest schedule in the league, where the Lions and Niners, it's much tougher for them. I just think the offense is there. I think Vic Fangio comes in, turns that defense around enough where they're able to just sneak over that hump, man, and go 12-5.
Not worried about the loss of Hassan Reddick, not worried about 2 offensive coordinators, but I do give you props. Vic Fangio is one of the best defensive coordinators in our business. He wanted to be closer to his family, and he's had success wherever he went. That's why I'm kind of looking for a dip in production from Miami. So I'll give you another plus on that one, Evan, giving you 2 pluses. Mase, who do you think is going to win it? And remember, in this first round of questions, we can have the same answer. That's okay. All right. So it's on you and starts now.
Yeah, I'm going to take the homer pick way up, and I'm going to say the 49ers. Their schedule, Jets, Vikings, Rams, Patriots, Cardinals, Seattle. I think the Niners could take all those games in the beginning. I have them down for losses, probably against Kansas City, Buffalo, Detroit's a tweener game, and probably a division loss. So I think at worst, the Niners go 13 wins.
13 wins. I love it. Pretty confident. You don't think that the West will rise up? You don't think do you think the Rams dip in production, or you think they get 10 wins again?
I think they can get 10 wins again. I don't think the Cardinals are as close as everyone thinks, and I don't think Seattle's really in a place right now. You look at their defense; it's really mixed up. They've got a lot going on. It's going to be a prove-it year for a lot of guys.
All right, I'll give you one more point for that. I love it. Seattle, yeah, new coach. It's going to be interesting what's going on over there. Greg, who are you taking? Who are you taking? What? Why is it the Saints?
But I mean, Detroit won 12 last year. They have 4 games against potential rookie quarterbacks if J.J. McCarthy, who I think should starts, and 2 against Caleb Williams. I just think Detroit, they play all but 3 games inside. And everybody knows Goff is great at home. Why? Because he's on turf, and he plays much better on turf. Detroit improved in every phase of the game, especially the defensive backfield. They're going to be much better this year. I just don't see the defense being a weakness this year like it was last year.
I think an improved defense. Maybe Branch can stay healthy. Maybe Campbell can get out there. Aiden Hutchinson, Houston. There are a lot of good studs on that Detroit team. Going to give you another comment. Not the 49ers. I love it, Mel. Yeah. And then, of course, it was a fluke. I don't know if it was a fluke or not, but I do think Green Bay wins the division, Mel. Another 2 points. Audience is winning this one. You are letting the audience get ahead of you here. As it currently sits, 13 points for the audience, 12 points for Greg, 11 for Evan, and 11 for Mase. All right. We're going to go into this with the order of who's got the most points. Evan, kind of like deferring, I guess, in this aspect since you're a host. We'll go Greg, Mase, Evan for the first question, and then rotate through just like we did. For people not familiar with this, we are not necessarily in a lightning round, but we're in a round where the points kind of can become more freely, negative and positive, okay? So what we're basing everything off of here is half-point PPR, redraft, 12-team, 100-yard bonus of 2 points, just keeping it kind of standard on what we do. But once again, we'll go Greg, Mase, Evan on this. Here's the first question. The massive amount of football analysts who are loyal Bear fans are putting lofty expectations on their team and quarterback, Caleb Williams. You know how I feel about that, but I want to hear how y'all feel about it. He does have 3 stud wide receivers. Of those 3, and we can throw Cole Kmet in there if you think there's a chance, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and Rome Odunze. Did I say that correctly? Who ends up with the most fantasy football points and why? Greg, you're on right now. The 40-second timer is strict, and it goes.
Hey, well, we know that rookies tend to focus on one quarterback. C.J. Stroud was a unicorn last year. It just doesn't happen. So who's he going to focus on? DK Metcalf is very talented, but he's going to be the deep threat on that team. Rome Odunze is a rookie. He's got to learn the game. Keenan Allen is going to work the middle of the field. In a PPR, he'd be better, but even in a half PPR, he's going to run away with it.
So Keenan Allen is your final answer, correct?
He is.
Okay. Going to give it to you right there. Plenty of time left on the clock. I'll go ahead and give you one more thumb for that. Brewing in your total of 15. Mase, so Keenan Allen is off the board. Who are you taking and why?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Moore. Last year, the Bears were, I guess, one of the bottom teams for dropbacks, around 600, 620 or something. They had 2 different quarterbacks doing it. Moore had 132 targets. Keenan Allen did have 145 last year, but he was over in, with Herbert and whatnot, and they're changing. So I don't think Allen has the expectation to get, as many. Obviously, I think he's going to get over 100, but I think it's going to be a lot of schoolyard stuff towards the end of the year, and that's kind of where DJ Moore is, a lot of screens, fast action stuff to keep the offense rolling and pumping. So I'm going to go with Moore.
I love it, man. Good answers. Plenty of time to spare. You did take the lead right there. You got 16 to Greg's 15. You know what that means, Evan? That means you're left with the rookie, Adunze, and it starts right now.
The benefits of being a co-host. Hey, give me Roma Dunze then. Let's go. Why not? Give me this rookie, man, that, hey, he can catch the ball that's contested. He does run some electric routes. No receiver in the Power 5 conferences had more receiving yards than he did the last 2 years. The talent is there. The route running is there. And, hey, don't wish injury on anyone, but Keenan's had time that he's missed. Maybe Caleb and Rome can develop that communication. DJ Moore stretches the field for him. So why not? Roma Dunze shocks everybody and finds a way to be the leader of these threesome wide receiver core.
Yeah, could develop that rookie chemistry, huh? We'll see how that goes. Give you
Evan
one more
missed
point.
the biggest point. Rome is 6'3". He's a red zone threat right away.
Yeah, he's a big boy, and he could develop it with Justin Fields. Whenever they were making their college calls, they called Caleb Williams twice and started telling him the offense and what they were going to do. They didn't tell him, like, hey, what do you think about coming to Chicago? No, they were already telling him the offense and implementing the offense to him with their 2 visits with Caleb Williams. So I think that does benefit from him, but I think there's too much pressure and too many expectations from too many Chicago people in the football media. All right, after that, we got Evan 16, Greg 15, Mase 16. And then let me look at the audience real quick. I'm not sure if we got any answers in. Lob, love spending time with the lunch. Rome, Emmy, thank you, Mel. I think she may have said the rookie as well, Evan. So you're getting a little bit of support out there with that. We'll see how that goes. Question 2. So on this one, we are up to we'll be on Mase and then Evan and then Greg, correct? All right, here we go. The NFC has had great running backs for half of a century, going back to Walter Payton, if not before. And this year is no exception. Which of these running backs has the greatest chance to cover their season-long rushing prop total? Okay, we have CMC at 1,150.5 yards. We got Bijan Robinson at 1,000.5 yards. We got Saquon Barkley at 1,000.5 yards. And we got Gibbs at 900.5 yards. All right, Mace, you get your choice of any of those 4. Please tell me why. Starting now.
Yeah, I'm going to take another homer pick here and take CMC. The guy gets fed the rock a lot. If you play fantasy football, he is the running back 1 for a handful of the weeks. I think he had 7 or 8 games last year with over 100 yards. He does get work in the passing game, but I feel like with the Niners getting Ricky Pearsall, they can lock up Ayuk and then restructure Trent Williams, deal. Pretty much all you got to do is run off Trent Williams' hip, and you'll probably get over 50 yards a game. So I think there's not much depth behind CMC, and I think the path to winning runs through CMC. So I think he's going to hit over on the ball.
All right, giving you another thumbs up there to top it off. CMC has the highest rushing prop total, but Mace says go for it. Not worried about the curse of 349, Greg, because that's how many touches he had. He did not get to that 350 threshold. That's your
370. 370.
370. I thought it was 350. Okay, point loss for me. Evan, CMC is off the board. So you got 2,000-yard rushers, 1 900-yard rusher. Not rushing receiving, rushing exclusively. These are all props that I found on DraftKings. Which one do you like, sir, and why?
All right, well, let's go with my first-round pick in FF7s and many other drafts. Let's go with Bijan Robinson, man. I think this is the guy that last year he had 976 rushing yards on a team that had no quarterback play, plenty of stack boxes, and he had 8 games where he had 11 or less rushing attempts. I don't think we see that this year. He's going to be closer to getting that 15 each game. Algiers a good backup, but this offense is going to future Bijan. We need another 75 yards after last year? Give me that all day with Bijan.
I love it. I think it's a great call as well. I'm a little high on Bijan. Giving you another point there, giving you the 2-point edge over Mase currently as we sit before we go to the third question. All right, Greg. So you got CMC off the board. You have Bijan off the board. You can take Barkley or Gibbs. Who are you taking and why, sir?
Well, I actually took Gibbs, and I'm glad for it. But I'm telling you, do a parlay on all of them. They're all going over. Gibbs went over by 45 yards last year. He topped that prediction last year, and that was his first year. He's going to be even better this year. If you're worried about David Montgomery, don't be. They're going to use him more because they saw when Montgomery was out that he could handle the pounding. This kid got 10 touchdowns rushing the ball. He is going to be used. Now, Barkley is going to have the best year as a pro because he's got the best offensive line. And I agree, Bijan is amazing. The hardest one is CMC.
Is it the most, or just because he's the wear and tear guy?
No, because he's got the highest level to get. Yeah, but I think they'll all go over. To be honest,
Do you think that?
Do you think I like all of them?
Do you
What's
think?
that?
Go ahead, Evan.
I was just saying, that's funny. I was going to say that too, Greg. I didn't want to not have enough time, but I was going to say all four, man, are no-brainers. I mean, if CMC plays 17 games, it's almost like impossible. The only way is if he misses 10, right? Like that just – you have to believe that right now.
Well,
He's so good.
Gibbs went over, and he missed 2 games.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to tell you that all 4 of those guys are going to go over.
Well, that's
I'll mention on Gibbs real quick too. Gibbs had 7 games where he was under 40% snap share. I don't think you see that same kind of argument with Bijan. I don't think you see games where he has, he's not at that 50, 55%. And that's a lot for 7 games, another 10, 15%.
Well, right now, if we had a producer, we would ask him to look and see what those odds are. But that does bring us to today's
pizza.
End up being a 4-ingredient pie where let's go ahead and stack it. We'll get a tweet out later, but all these guys like it. CMC over, Bijan over, Barkley over, Gibbs over. We'll see what that is. We'll come back. We'll post that live. We'll get that out on TikTok or our Discord or something like that. All right, coming down the stretch, the audience burnt out on me. Mel got back from lunch. Let's see, she put out CMC. And then we got Angie here that says, hey, guys, hey, Mel. We'll see you at the expo. Let's see some of us. I believe 3 of us right here, at least Mel. I don't know if she's going. And then Pete just saying, please hit those likes. All right. This show, I plan on it going about 35 to 40 minutes. So if you're on a quick lunch break, I'm sorry. Hopefully you can catch the end here because it's coming down to the wire. Got to give the audience a couple more points, but they staggered off. Audience is 18. Mase has 19. Greg has 21. Evan has 21. And we're coming up on this. It will be Evan, Greg, Mase. Okay. That's how this will go. So Mase, you're going to have to pull this one out of the to get it here. Yeah. We'll see here. And then the question is, there's a mystery, and don't let anybody see it. Evan has access to my script, so I didn't even write it down. It's all up here in the noggin, the thinking cap. I got it on. So you see sports affiliation right there. Here we go. The question is, every year there seems to be a team that not every year seems I forget the stat. It's like the last 16 or 17 years, somebody that was last in the division goes to first in the division. In the NFC, that was the Washington Commanders, the Arizona Cardinals, the Chicago Bears, and the Carolina Panthers. Now, this is a tough question, but which of those 4 teams do you think not necessarily wins the division, but can make it in the playoffs, including possibly winning the division? All right, Evan, this is on you, and it starts right now.
You know what? Give me the Washington Commanders, man. I think that every year you see this team have a way to kind of hover around that 7-win mark. They're a lot more competitive than we ever really get to see. I think bringing in Jaden Daniels obviously heightens that offensive play. This defense does need some help. But listen, they got weapons, right? And Brian Robinson is very underrated. I think Eckler was slowed by injury. You got McLaurin. You got Dotson. I like Washington, man. I think that they can overcome and possibly – I don't think they win the division. I don't think any of these 4 do. But I think Washington can find a way to sneak in one of those wild card spots. Maybe number 7 there, man.
All right. With a little time to spare, going to cut it right there, 24. So, Greg, that means you cannot take the Washington Commanders. Who do you have? And
I didn't want the Commanders, to be honest. I'm not taking any rookie quarterback to go into the playoffs. If I was, it would be JJ, but they didn't finish last. So I'm going to go with the Carolina Panthers. They have a second-year quarterback, and they've turned around that team. They've added talent to the skill positions, and I like Bryce Young. He's a short quarterback, but of the 4 teams, he's the best quarterback out there. Jaden Daniels still has to prove it to me, and he's got to stay healthy. So give me the Carolina Panthers.
All right. So second-year quarterback is the factor. Surprised you didn't say anything about the NFC South kind of always being up for grabs. But I think it could factor into it as well. Mase, they're tied at 24. So you got a chance to either join them or maybe pass them. You do not have the luxury of having Washington or the Carolina Panthers, though. Who are you taking and why, sir? This could be for the game.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with the Bears. I think that maybe they can edge their way to 3rd in the division. Their rookie quarterback has like the best setup possible for a rookie quarterback. You know, you're talking about the wide receivers plus like his like number one best friend, I guess, is now his wide receiver 3 too. He gets to work with Swift, who gets passed around more in the NFL than a beach ball at a Nickelback concert. Like I don't understand why he doesn't really work out, but if there's ever a time that he needs to, it's now. So I think he's got the weapons, and that defense is stout. They got 2 stellar linebackers. They got the edge rush with Sweat. Maybe they make a move and get on or do something. They did draft Booker, who's pretty big on the outside as well.
All right. You pulled yourself out there, Mase, with that Sweat comment. I was waiting to hear it. They were one of the worst sack teams last year, drastically started improving when Sweat came to their defense. They didn't give up a lot of rushing yards. I think the Bears gave up the fewest amount of rushing yards in the NFL last year. So what that happened, it didn't happen intentionally, trust me. But we got a 3-way tie here. So what I'm going to do is present a question off the top of my head. I'm not too great at this, but we'll get it going. Anyway, there's no other way to bring back the show, right? 10 seconds on this. Sticking with the NFC, I got to think. Who will be wide receiver 1 out of all NFC wide receivers, and why? Well, just give me a quick answer. 10 seconds. We'll go back to that order again. Well, we'll restart it. We'll go Greg, Mase, Evan. Greg, up first, 10 seconds. Who's it going to be?
It's going to be Amon-Ra St. Brown. The guy just catches balls all the time. He's quarterback proof. If Goff goes down, he'll still be the guy.
I love it. Amon-Ra says he's not Goff dependent, is what he's saying. So Mase, as soon as I get the timer set, who are you taking in? Tell me quickly why. Go.
CeeDee Lamb for the Cowboys. They don't really have much else. Tight end might steal some from him, but Dak is just going to pepper him the last year, and then they're both going to go their separate ways.
All right. Saying a little, see you later, via con Dios. One more time. Evan, who you got? This is for the game, baby. It's on you.
It's got to be Justin Jefferson. We've never seen a back-to-back wide receiver go 1. There's Jordan Addison. Who knows? TJ Hawkinson out. Probably not going to be the same. He's the guy there. Darnold, McCarthy, doesn't matter. Feed him.
All right. Oh, man, this is tough. Y'all gave good reasonings. Who do I think has the better chance? You got Dak. You got JJ. You got Goff. As much as I'm wanting to tilt against it, I think I got to give it to Greg here, man.
Yeah.
The way it goes, Greg. Amon-Ra, he's a good one. CeeDee Lamb's going first. Greg, the floor is yours. Say what you like.
I just want to say that I hope my California snowflake friends don't melt. They're good people and they have good knowledge. CeeDee Lamb's holding out. I mean, come on. And they don't repeat. And Darnold, come on. That wasn't even close. It's got to be Amon-Ra. Give me the sun god. And now my curiosity is, what does Michigan do without 18 starters and the ball coach?
Yeah, they're going to suck. There's no doubt about that.
They're not going to suck.
They don't even have Moody to bail them out, man. We didn't even get a chance to talk about Moody.
-5 for Iggy. -5.
Hey, NFC, man, I feel like there's a lot of great fantasy football talent in the NFC, particularly away from the quarterback position. We got great IDPs. We got great playmakers. Not trying to keep you guys held up. Greg, you had his piece. I felt like the second answer right there. I love the boldness of Justin Jefferson. I really do. I just don't believe in it. So CeeDee Lamb, Mase, what do you got to say? Any closing comments from you, sir? And please tell everybody where to find your stuff one more time.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at CaliKing49er17, and then I'm a writer ranker for RPO Football, and I do offensive and defensive rankings on Fantasy Pros, little tidbits there. I'm just really excited to be part of the Kings Classic. I'm really excited to go and be on the IDP panel with you. I don't know. I just want to see my family, man. It's been too long. So I'm ready to get after it, meet some new faces, make some new memories.
Yeah, dude, I'm totally stoked for the expo as well. Can't wait to be in the Kings Classic with you. Can't wait to be in the panel. It's going to be a lot of fun. Evan, any closing remarks before we get out of here, sir?
And once again, I got the short end of the stick. I had to go with Justin Jefferson. That's okay, though. I don't agree with it. Listen, I mean, A.J. Brown has Devontae. Puka has Cooper Kupp. These guys took the other two. It's got to be JJ as the answer, whether it's right or wrong. But I will say, too, for that Commander comment, Greg, was RG3 a rookie when he led the Commanders to the playoffs? So I think Jaden Daniels could do the same thing.
RG3 had an offensive line. That's the problem with the Commanders.
Hey, I'm just saying they went there with RG3 one year. Rookie quarterbacks can do it. So anyway, man, fun being on with you guys, Mase. Good to see you, man. Greg, always a pleasure. Iggy, I get to see you weekly, but it's always a joy, man. So thank you for everybody tuning in, man. And it was a great show.
Yeah,
hey,
absolutely.
I want to say one thing, Iggy, before you get out. We have the person who wrote the book on consistency on Thursday Checkdown tonight. He's also the architect of the Fantasy Football Expo. Mr. Bob Lung is on Thursday Checkdown at 7 p.m. Eastern tonight. Tune in because we're going to be telling you how consistency can help your fantasy teams win.
Yeah, you don't want to miss it. It's going to be coming on here actually pretty soon. Thursday, the sports affiliation, we're trying to really be your go-to people for Thursday night football between the Stuff Homeslice. We roll over in the Thursday check down with Greg and Tip, and then we're going to roll right into the watch party after that. We're going to have a lot more bets coming for you. We will get that pizza parlay up. Next week we do return. Not sure how it's going to work. Evan and I may have to record it at like the wee hours of 2 Pacific time a.m. or something. We'll get that recorded for you. Going to be a lot of football, guys. We got football tonight. I don't want to hear any complaining from anybody, okay? Be thankful we have it.
Iggy, put $5 down on the 4 running back parlay, and I'll give you the money at the expo, and you keep the winnings.
All right. Hey, I'll take that all day. We'll put it on ourselves. So we're going to have that going. Be thankful we got football. Hey, guess what? I played flag football on that field, and I'm so stoked to play. Watch people
right?
again.
Oh, Iggy laid the wood last year.
Yeah.
He laid a guy out.
Yeah.
I won't be doing that this year with the AC joint. I might be over there with the clipboard yelling at the players as a coach, give the Matt Patricia no sharpened pencil in the hair look, something like that going on, so they know I'm all business, baby. But we will be next week, even if it's just Evan having to do a show. Hopefully we record something because we're coming back around, guys. We got futures to talk about. We'll have plenty of injury news to be talking about, unfortunately. And there's going to be more football next week to talk about. But be thankful we got football tonight. Shout out to Devin Hester. Congratulations for going to the Hall of Fame. I can't wait to see your bus, buddy. I can't wait to see y'all. And then next week we'll be back. Greg, go ahead.
Are you doing next week's show from Canton?
I don't know if I can or not. We'll see because I'll be there.
On Thursday, right? Wednesday, Thursday?
Yeah, I'll be flying in, so I'd have to be like at the airport. We'll see. Well, Evan and I will talk about that. And we got to talk about Thursday Checkdown as well. But we're getting out of here, guys. Thank you all for joining. 75 people here. We really appreciate it. Come back. We're going to try to do the game show every first Thursday of the month. We'll have these great contestants like Mase, like Greg, like Evan, sharing their knowledge, giving different perspectives on very important positions for your fantasy football teams. All right. As always, bet smart, be lucky. See you next week.